What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and we're gonna have a little bit of a fun video here, and it's really what I call Pokemon times Anon crossover. So, tinfoil hat time here. Everybody's been talking about how the Pokemon company can't print enough, they won't print enough, and you know it's evidenced really by how much they're pushing products out. And I'll just run through Ascended Heroes real quick, just to refresh everybody's memory. So on January 30th was the initial release. We had Wave 1, and everything's in waves. It's been in waves since Mega 1, I think. At this point, I don't know. I think that's as far back as we go for waves. But the common thought process, and especially on PokeTube, is they can't print enough. And I've been overly vocal about how that's just factually incorrect. And it may seem that way right now, but when they rug pull, it's going to hurt. But it's also going to be a massive opportunity. So with Ascended Heroes, on January 30th, we had the 3-pack tech sticker collection wave 1, and then the 2-pack were delayed. Now, these came out in big box stores earlier, but they were delayed for distribution. So these were pushed to February 20th, along with, let's see, the ETBs, wave 1 of the Elite Trainer boxes, and then wave 1. Wave 1 of the mini tins as well. Now, moving on, we have March 30th. We have the Deluxe Pin Collection and the Poster Collection. By the way, the Deluxe Pin Collections, Walmart already sold these and shipped these out. So the reason why they are on Facebook is because Walmart broke street date, whether they were allowed to or not. I don't really care, not my concern. But for those of you that are curious, that's why they're out there. And then we have the Poster Collections, which has 2 different iterations. These have 10 packs. So this is March 30th. Then we go all the way to April 24th. We have the booster bundles, and we have the 3 different iterations of the EX boxes. These are the same EX boxes as we saw with the Mega Kangaskhan and the Lucario EX. I think it's Lucario EX with 4 packs in. And that's what we see for Ascended Heroes. Now, everybody seems to think that they can't print, they won't print. I'm here to tell you that the stars are aligning. And again, this is total tinfoil hat time. The stars are aligning for them to dump a massive amount of product on us. And before you start laughing, one of the things that I had mentioned previously is the most effective way to get the market under control is to disperse the spend across multiple SKUs at volume, where you can't have folks that are just hammering Destined Rivals booster boxes to $550 or hammering Prismatic Evolutions ETBs up to $170. So instead of folks being able to target certain SKUs and push the price up, the total amount of spend, it just drowns out the small little pockets of liquidity that are buying it up. Kind of how to crush a market 101. And crush is probably the wrong term, but this is tamping down. So I want to go to my trusty spreadsheet here. And in my video last night, which is my distribution update video, I mentioned that I had heard that the second wave of the tech sticker collection is tentative for March 20th, which is almost 2 months later. It's virtually unheard of, even in the delays we're dealing with now. Generally, wave 2s of items are scheduled for 3 weeks later. I don't think we've gotten them later than 5 weeks, really in any instance or right around there. So 2 full months later is a little head scratching. But then I found out that the ETBs and the 2-pack blisters are scheduled to come around 3/27. So I start to do the math, and I look at the Perfect Order release, and I look at these guys coming out. I look at something I've been super vocal about again, is about the Phantasmal Flames booster box reprint, which, again, I've said this multiple times. There are purchase orders that I've seen for 1.5 million booster box packages. Again, not the booster boxes themselves, the packages that were due to be delivered end of February into early March. So that fits that timeline. For those of you who don't understand how quick the turnaround on this stuff is, the ETBs that we just got were packaged in late January, early February. So they're turning this stuff, like packaging it, getting it out the door in like 2 weeks. And Another thing I mentioned when I did the video on the Pokemon company buying Excel Holdings, they also bought a trucking company. It's called Longistics, Long Istics. If you look at Dun& Bradstreet, you look at any business registration area, they are now a wholly owned subsidiary of Park Communications, who is the parent company of Millennium Print Group. So they are all under the same umbrella at this point. So they're now able to manage their logistics from the, generally speaking, third party who's packing these items to get them to distribution a little bit more efficiently than what we've seen before. But getting back to the item at hand, so I've started to put two and two together. And for a company that can't get more than one item out at a time, or they struggle to get product to market, or they're putting out waves and the waves are delayed, what I'm seeing here is a very, very dramatic shift in what everybody's thinking. So if we go to March 20th to March 27th, this is what I think is going to be the first punch in the gut, if you will, punch in the nose. You have your dog, he's bad, you slap in the nose a little bit, it stuns him, you just to put him into his place. That's kind of the Pokemon market here. So Senate Heroes 3-pack stickers, Wave 2, again, scheduled to come on the 20th of March. Ascended Heroes 2-pack blisters. This is the Erica and the Larry, scheduled to come on March 27th. Ascended Heroes Wave 2 ETBs, March 27th. Ascended Heroes Mini Tins, March 27th. Now, these four in and of themselves, if they all came at the same time, nobody would care. Wouldn't matter at all. But now we have the first Partner Deluxe Pin Collection, which is a cool item, Wave 1, coming on March 20th. We have the Premium Poster Collection, which is probably the largest concentration of packs we're going to get because there are 10 packs in each one of these, coming on March 20th. Now we move on. 30th anniversary, the first Partner Illustration Collection, which has, it looks like, a Phantasmal, a Mega 1-pack, as well as the 3-pack promo, where it's 3 of 9 random promos for Gen, I think it's 1, 4, and 7. These come out on March 20th as well. Now, there's more. The Mega Evolution Mini Portfolio for Q1. Again, this is a small item. It's a rounding error, but it's still coming out on 3/27. Now we move to Perfect Order. So as you can start to see, there's a snowball of product that's all scheduled to come out at the same time. So we have the sleeve boosters, the ETBs, the check lane blisters, the booster bundles, the booster displays, and the 3-pack blisters for Wave 1 all coming out on 3/27. Now, in addition, these three, I'm just putting them out there. This is tinfoil hat time, right? Phantasmal booster boxes. This is part of the reprint. Again, I don't know how much they're going to put out. I do know it's coming. So let's say they put Phantasmal booster boxes out on 3/27. Okay, great. Would it make sense that they're also putting Mega 1 reprints out? Because we haven't seen Mega 1 reprints. And if they're printing Phantasmal, odds are they're probably printing Mega 1. So let's throw that out there. Now, let's go to Destined Rivals, everybody's favorite product to show. For those of you who don't know, Asmodee UK, just this past week, solicited for a Destined Rivals booster box reprint. Now, presumably, those booster boxes were printed in the US because the initial print configuration was also printed in the US. There is a chance that they were printed in Netherlands and they changed the configuration slightly for that factory versus the North Carolina factory, which is very, very antiquated. And again, remember, they're still hand stuffing booster boxes. I know that for a fact. So we know for certain that there's a Destined Rivals booster box reprint in the works, at least landing in the UK. And again, for those of you who don't know, the US has printed for the UK for a long, long time. That has almost entirely migrated to the Netherlands, but I know the Netherlands was having issues with Elite Trainer boxes. So a lot of the ETBs in Europe are still being printed out of North Carolina. But again, we know Destined Rivals is being reprinted because Asmodee UK is specifically soliciting for a Destined Rivals reprint. So what's to say that they're not reprinting this in the US and they're going to have it all drop at the same time? Now, again, tinfoil hat time. I don't know anything about Destined Rivals in the US. I know for certain that it is scheduled to hit in the UK in March. I do not know anything about Mega Evolutions 1. I'm just surmising that the odds of them pushing Mega 1 along with Phantasmal because we haven't seen any booster box reprints, along with Destin, which we know is going to Europe, and we haven't seen any booster box reprints. The odds of them doing that is significantly greater than 0. Now, it's certainly not 100%, but when you start to look at the body of work and all of these individual SKUs lining up to all land at the same time, this is really the perfect order or perfect storm of what you would want if you're the Pokemon company to try to tamp down the market and get some sanity in before you release the Greninja set in May, and then you move forward into 30th anniversary. So anyway, guys, I thought this was fascinating. Again, I'm going to spend a little bit of time with our tinfoil hats on, Alex Jones style, and just kind of walk through. So let me know your thoughts. I don't think there's a single person that's looked at this way and put 2 and 2 together and said, holy shnikes, there's a lot of product coming at the same time, and this is much different than what we've seen over the last year. So anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a good night.